So to prove rectangles using coordinate geometry, first you should show that you have a parallelogram. And then the easiest way to show that you have a parallelogram is by making sure the slopes are the same for each of the pairs of sides. So after you show it's a parallelogram, you can show that it's a rectangle by showing that the angles are perpendicular. And the way you do that is you look at the slopes, and if the slopes are opposite reciprocals, some people say negative reciprocals, then it is a rectangle. So let's prove that snow with the following vertices is a rectangle. So first I plot the points. So there's S at -3, 0, ends at 4, 7. So I go over to the 4, up 7. And then O's at 9, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2. And W's at 2, -5. The first thing I would ask myself is, does it look like a rectangle? And so first I need to show that we have a parallelogram by showing that these two are parallel, which they look to be parallel. And then I also need to show that these are parallel, the pinks. So first, I would prove proof of a parallelogram. And then don't forget to label your points. Like this is S, -3, 0, ends at 4, 7. O is at 9, 2, and W is at 2, -5. The first thing you would do to prove that it's a parallelogram is to measure the slope. So from S to N, you do what's called rise over run. And it looks like the slope of from S to N, you rise 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then you go over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Or you could have just said up 1 over 1, same thing. So the slope of Sn is equal to 7 over 7. So the slope of Sn is 7 over 7, which equals 1. In other words, you go up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1. And then I need to show that that equals the slope of WO. Well, from W, I also go up 7, and I go over 7. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the slope of WO is also 7 over 7 equals 1. Those are the same. So I've found that these slopes are the same. Now that's this red. Now I need to show that these slopes are the same from S to W. So if I start at S, I have to fall and then run. When you fall, that's negative slope. That's why this is negative. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the slope of SW is -5 over 5. Which equals -1. And then from N to O, you go down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the slope of NO is negative 5 over 5 equals 1, or negative 1. So because 1 equals 1 and negative 1 equals negative 1, this is a parallelogram. Now let's prove that snow is a rectangle. And part of why I chose to prove that this is a parallelogram by slope is because now, as long as these are opposite reciprocals, then this would be a rectangle. So 1 and negative 1 are opposite reciprocals. So because they're opposite reciprocals, and these two are the same, and these two are the same, this is enough to show that this is a. So now they want me to find the coordinate of E given that you have a rectangle. So we have C at 0, 2. We have H at 4, 8. So over 4, right 8. You have E, who knows where, and you have R at 3, 0. So I could go ahead and make part of the shape. I know it goes from here to there, and it goes from here to here. So obviously the other point's going to be over here somewhere. And the easiest way to find that is by using a slope. So I'd count up from here. You go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I would do the same from this point. I'd go up 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So to make a rectangle, should go right about there. First thing I would ask, does it look like a rectangle? And I would say it is. I would then prove it's a rectangle. So first, let's prove that chair is a parallelogram. And it helps to have your coordinates. So C is at 0, 2. H is at 4, 8. I guessed on E. I didn't really guess. I used the slope. And R is 3, 0. First, let's find the slope of CH. So I'd go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 6 over 4. If you want to reduce it, you can. That's 3 over 2. Technically, you don't have to. And we'll double check and make sure this is 6 over 4 from R to E. You go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4. Which reduces to 3 halves. You then go from C to R, you fall 2, so that's negative. Negative 2 over 3, that's negative 2/3. And then from H to E, you go down 2, also over 3. So I have proved that this is a parallelogram because CR equals HE, CH equals RE. and that's enough to prove that it's a parallelogram. Now let's prove that chair is a rectangle. And so another way to think about it is if you have 3/2 the opposite reciprocal means the 2 goes up and the 3 goes down. That's what we call a reciprocal. And then we call opposite reciprocal is when you start with positive and you change to negative, or you go from negative, change to positive. So because this and this are opposite reciprocals, I would say that yes, it is a rectangle.